What a beautiful view of our fleet. Hey guys, Quicksilver Gaming here, bringing you another episode of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. This is our German 1920s campaign, and it is January 1930, and thought I'd start off with a couple refits here that I have been working on. It's been pretty nice, peaceful period here, so we can redesign our fleet, and I showed off the Wolfsburg refit last episode. I worked on the Köln and the Scharnhorst and just show basically what I did here. So for the Köln class light cruiser, nothing spectacular in terms of the refit, but I think I did upgrade the engine, the auxiliaries, the shaft, and then of course added Generation 1 radar, Sonar 3. I think I upped the main deck just a tad, and the Citadel armor went up a tad. I also reduced the secondary guns down to 1.5-inch guns. These ships are designed to take out merchants and destroyers, so the 2-inch guns, you know, they're nice against destroyers, but they're not needed. And 1.5 is a fairly historically accurate thing for the Germans. I talk about historical accuracy a lot. I'm not a stickler for it, but it's nice to do in this game when you can. And then upgraded to TNT 4. So that is the Köln class light cruiser. I think I only have about 6 of those in my fleet in total. And then the newly minted Scharnhorst. I didn't really change much about this at all. It already had shaft 3 and auxiliary 3 and double geared steam turbines. I did upgrade to TNT 4, added Gen 1 radar, upgraded to the stereoscopic 5 and the sonar 3 because it'll probably take a beating. And then I had to shed a little bit of weight, so I think it was like 13.5-inch belt. So took off those 6 inches. Sorry ladies, but the 6 inches are gone. And other than that, maybe increase the length of some of these barrels just a tad, but nothing else. So pretty easy refits there. Really, I'm just trying to get radar onto my ships and just doing them in batches. So as the tonnage becomes available for me, that's when I do the refits. And if you look at the finance tab here, you see I'm pretty tight on the shipbuilding capacity. I have a total of 515,500 tons, and we're at 506,000 tons. Everything else is maxed. Monthly balance is good, and you can see fleet here. Building 3 of those Bismarck class battleships. More Scharnhorsts will be rolling off the docks soon. We'll refit them as they go off the docks. Light cruisers being refitted. And then the last Wolfsburg cruiser being refitted. The Wolfsburgs won't have the TNT 4 or the Sonar 3, but that's alright. We're not going to refit them again after that. I also unlocked the, I think it's the Leader Destroyer. What was it? Yeah, Modern Destroyer Leader, but only up to a 3,000 ton displacement. I think I'll wait until I receive a larger amount of tonnage, and that way I can create a nice large destroyer that hopefully has a pitch and roll that isn't in the yellow. That's always hard with destroyers. I'm still prioritizing armor quality. This must be something, I'm thinking this is modern armor, and it must be something that unlocks in the 30s because it's moving really slow. I might actually reprioritize this because it's not worth prioritizing. Actually, I'll just take all priorities off. I think that's actually the best solution here. Just take all priorities off. Well, you know, we could always prioritize big guns, so we'll put something into big guns here. Politics-wise, nobody's really mad at us except for China and the United States. If Italy wants to go at it once more, that would be great. Weirdly enough, we are, you know, friendly towards Great Britain and Russia, even though we had a war early against Russia and spanked them. I think it was one battle, and then they declared peace. So that's what we're doing here. Probably try the Bismarck next on a refit, but we have a ways to go with all those Scharnhorsts that need to be refitted and the Koln-class cruisers, and then we'll probably design a brand new destroyer, and then we might design a new cruiser too, because we have that modern heavy cruiser 2 hull that we could put some 10 or 11-inch guns on and make a pocket battleship out of, basically. So that's where we sit. I'll probably power through a bunch of turns and just show you refits as we're at peacetime right now, and you know, all the nations that are angry at us are across the world. Going to war with the United States doesn't exactly sound interesting. I mean, go all the way across, could try to take like Maine or something maybe? I don't know. War with Italy sounds better. War with France and England. I might need to get England to be angry at us as opposed to liking us. And then Spain, we could always try to anger Spain too. But that's it for this turn. And here we are with another ship. This is not a refit. This is my take on the Deutschland class heavy cruiser. Doesn't look like it at all whatsoever, but we do have 11.1-inch guns on the ship of 50 caliber, and I have it set up in 4 turrets of 2. So this is a hard-hitting cruiser. This hits really, really hard. It's, I mean, in World War II, the Deutschland class heavy cruiser was considered a pocket battleship because it had the firepower of sort of a small battleship. You know, 11-inch guns weren't something you put on cruisers, but historically, the Deutschland had 2 turrets of 3 barrels each, one on the front, one on the aft, or fore and aft, and this one's a little bit faster, speed 32 knots, great range on it, a lot heavier, up to 19,000 tons. This is the modern Heavy 2 for the Germans, and, you know, all the standard stuff like shaft 2, auxiliary 2, gear turbines, anti-torp 2, all or nothing armor. But I did change things up a little here. I went super heavy shell size, and I went standard AP. So the idea here is that this ship will do plunging fire on enemy ships. This will replace the Wolfsburg, or maybe be an addition to the Wolfsburg in my battleship fleets. And this should add some really nice punch, some extra punch, take out enemy cruisers. Maybe the Wolfsburgs will be designed more to take out like the light cruisers and the destroyer span that the AI does. But this, when it hits, should chunk the enemy. And I've given it the stereoscopic rangefinders and Gen 1 radar. I gave it sonar 3, not really necessary for what it's going to do, but you know, I had the weight. Going to sonar 2 didn't really shed enough to go for increased shells ammo, but that might be something we refit in the future. Just see how it goes. And then has great armor, 10-inch main belt. I put a 4-inch main deck on there, and then Citadel armor to go along with it. And then, as I said, 11.1-inch guns. They're 50 caliber, and then some 4.1-inch guns. Just 6 turrets of them, and they're 52 caliber. So I think this came out really well. Pitch and roll is sub 20, which is great. Being sub 25 gets you in the blue. Engine efficiency is great. I mean, it's expensive, but I don't really care about that. If you look at our economy, that the cost of the ships doesn't really matter. And it's under 20,000 tons, so putting that many 11-inch guns on a hull that's under 20,000 tons, sign me up for that. So really, really awesome, and I think we're building 5 of them right now. And continuing our refit parade, we have finally refitted the Bismarck class battleship. I had to wait for some research to unlock so I could get it underweight. I feel like I might have designed the ship poorly in terms of future-proofing the ship. It might be a little bit too light. I probably should have gone up to around like a 60,000 weight or so, but we'll see. I'll probably just end up building new battleships soon-ish. Basically, I need better engines or better funnels. Basically the engine efficiency. I'm running into those problems mainly because the secondary towers are really stupid. Like, why are they these super thin ones, and you can't do a super thin modern tower, except on the Battleship 1 you can do the super thin forward tower and super thin rear tower. So like nothing lines up. It's really weird. Really wish they would provide more tower options when building the different battleships. Would make the customization of ships feel a lot better. But anyways, enough ranting about that. The changes to the Bismarck class battleship, I did change the armament. I went to the super heavy shell size with the standard AP shells, TNT4, and the idea here is because I have Gen 1 radar, now our super long range fire should be a lot better, so getting those deck plunging hits should be pretty awesome. And then stereoscopic 5 for the rangefinder. It was 4. Drop sonar down to 1. Not as important on a battleship, especially the concept of this battleship is to sit, 15,000 plus meters away. I mean, even that 20,000 meter range should be okay. We should start gaining some massive accuracy bonuses as we go. And then I messed around with the armor a little, reduced the fore and aft belt a little, increased the main deck just a little. The conning tower for some reason was way overweight. It was like in the 24 range, and the cap here is 18.8, so that was a little odd there. And then I don't think I really changed anything else. So that's our Bismarck class with radar. So we finally unlocked 3,300-ton destroyers. So I decided to build another one. Destroyers are one of those interesting ones where, like, I'm never truly happy with how they look. You can never build them historical. They their pitch and roll is always terrible. But, I think this is fine. So 36 knots is equivalent to our last destroyer. Had to do the same beam and draft of +10, -15. That really helps with the pitch and roll a lot. Quarters went down to standard to shed some weight. Stuck with the double-geared steam turbines because the diesel engines were too expensive. Could only go to an auxiliary 2 for the aux engine, but did go shaft 3, so that's good there. Went heavy, super heavy shells, standard AP nose views, standard shell ammo. I did reduce the torpedo rounds to also get underweight, and torpedoes aren't my favorite part of this game. I find like the enemy AI shoots incredibly amazing spreads, and your ships struggle to dodge them, whereas when you shoot, your spreads are terrible, and the enemy is just absolutely amazing at dodging. So I think you'll find a lot of YouTubers and a lot of players agree with that. But otherwise, Coincidence 5, Sonar 3, RDF Gen 1 radar, gave it Depth Charge 2 just because of weight, Minehunter 4, and Advanced Slayer 3. It's fairly well armored for the constraints of destroyers now. 1.1 is the maximum on the belt and deck, so not too shabby there. And then I gave it a bunch of 4.1-inch guns, and they are 39 caliber, so not too shabby. And then, of course, 4 torpedo launchers, each with 2 tubes. So it's pretty expensive, but we don't really care about cost right now, and it's a lot better than DDV-20. As you'll see, the pitch and roll on DDV-20 is pretty terrible. This had 3.5-inch guns. It had 2 launchers of 3 tubes. It just overall nowhere near as good as DDV-2. So this is our new destroyer. I'll start replacing all of the old destroyers with these. I don't really use destroyers that much unless some sort of convoy action goes, but being Germany doesn't seem like you have a lot of convoy battles, so I'll think about in the future if I ever play Germany again that Germany kind of being off by itself is more of like a big fleet mentality, whereas other nations like England, France, maybe even Italy to an extent, they're more of like spread across the world, and you'll have a lot more convoy battles. So anyways, I'll save this and I'll go ahead and build a bunch. After what felt like an eternity, as it is now November 1933, something is actually happening, and we are probably going to war with the United States. I'm pretty sure we're at like a -97 relation with them. I mean, they're halfway across the world. Our ships aren't designed to go across the world, but I think this will spiral some other nations into declaring war with us, and that's sort of what I want. And I mean, our economy is just booming. I have more money than I know what to do with, so we'll take this. And here we go. War erupted between Germany and the United States. So unfortunately, England likes that. But France does not like that, and France has been, they've been provoking us a little. Unfortunately, the Soviet Union likes it. Italy does not like it, and they're quite close to declaring war on us, I think, seeing the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Germany's okay with it. Spain's not okay with it, which is good, and China's not okay with it. I don't want to go to war with China because they are so far away and will never actually fight each other, but that's besides the point. And then modern armor just unlocked. I have been prioritizing this, and this is pretty big for us, and I think I will start developing some new battleships with this. It sort of depends on if I have the propulsion to actually move the battleships. I would like them to be around 30 knots. That's sort of what the Bismarck is at. So if I can build slightly larger battleships with better guns, with modern armor, and have them go about 30 knots, that is something I will do. So United States losing transports. Another thing I was considering, because they did buff submarines in a recent patch or in this beta, is maybe just like throw a bunch of submarines and see if they actually do anything. I have the money to do it, especially now we're at war. That's just absolutely absurd. Plus $3.8 trillion, and we've got nearly 52 trillion in the bank anyways. So we shall see how that is. And the United States so kindly sent a fleet to us for us to destroy. So I will probably move my fleet from Kiel. Oh, I do have a couple battleships refitting but that still leaves me with 3 battleships and 2 battle cruisers in each of my fleets, and then they can just come up later. Just going over what's been happening. We have, let's see, 2 months there. We've just been plugging along in here, and modern armor was a big one. Hull construction, that'll be a nice one to unlock. I'll probably delve down big guns and engines again after that. Our finances are just through the roof, and our economy is absolutely insane in our yearly budget. Well, we're at war now, but I think it was in the 52 trillion. No, I think that was our, I don't know what it was. We had a lot in our Navy budget. We have 12 battleships, 3 of them are being refitted. We have 9 battle cruisers, 24 what I would call super modern heavy cruisers, 6 light cruisers, and 20 of our new destroyers. And this is our political situation, so hopefully war with Italy soon. That's one I want to take. War with China, I don't want to go to war with China. And I've been trying to improve relations with them, but it's just not been working. And then I've been trying to anger France. This campaign, I hate to say it, it's been a little boring, and I apologize for that. Thankfully, you guys shouldn't notice it as much, as I've just been plowing through turns and trying to show you the interesting stuff. But yeah, that's where we sit. So I will move out this giant fleet to block the strait, and just one of my ships is refitting. That's perfectly fine. Oh, I can't move out that many ships. I don't have a large enough crew pool, so that's interesting. So what if I take out the destroyers? Is that enough? Not quite. What if I take out, so Wolfsburg, probably don't need one of these Wolfsburgs. So let's leave Thor behind, and we could put those destroyers back in. Alright, so good to know that we can't have 4 Wolfsburgs in there. We might move a Wolfsburg out. Oh, and we only have 1 battle cruiser in here. I thought we had 2. So that'll be... We'll have to redo our fleets. Actually, I might need to start putting points into one of the Admiralty traits. Let me actually think about that show you guys. So I think it is maneuver warfare. Is it max training naval? No. Is it naval communications? Yeah, it's naval communications. So let's actually put a point into naval communications as a priority and see if we can boost that up, because that'll be a bummer if, you know, we can't actually deploy our fleets. As far as this little group here, I mean, we should be able to crush it. So we'll just move you out, and then once again we will take out one of the Wolfsburg classes. Do I have any of them that have defects? Nope. And that, there we go. I also could just create 4 fleets instead. Maybe build another Scharnhorst battlecruiser. I might do that, because then I could have 4 fleets of 3 battleships plus a Scharnhorst, and then redistribute some of my cruisers. Actually, that's probably what I will do. So let's build another Scharnhorst. Go ahead and build that. And then as far as classes, so we have, I think we have 12 Deutschland So we could probably do like 3 Deutschland, 3 Wolfsburg, and that would probably be better. So we probably don't need to build another Deutschland class cruiser. Wolfsburg, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We wouldn't need to build another one of them. Yeah, that's probably the best choice because by the time we increase our crew total that we can have in a fleet, I can build some larger battleships because I'd like to have like a quote-unquote flagship for each fleet, one that has like 16 or 17 or maybe even 18-inch guns in it. I think that would be pretty cool. And then I would have the larger battleship, 3 of the Bismarcks and 1 battle cruiser, and then a bunch of heavy cruisers and 3 destroyers. And I feel like that would be a really nice fleet to take on basically anything that the enemy throws at us. Makes me wonder how the enemy puts together these monstrous fleets. But then again, they're generally full of like little tiny cruisers and destroyers and light cruisers, so those don't have as much crews, so that's probably why. But I think earlier in this campaign when the Austro-Hungarians had, it was like 8 battleships and a bunch of battle cruisers in one fleet, so I'm not sure. Anyways, we'll see if we have an engagement in this episode. I'd really love to have at least 1 engagement per episode, but we shall see. This has just been a very strange peacetime, so I'll see you when something interesting happens. Well, here we go. Looks like we have caught the New Mexico battleship, Florida class. This doesn't look to be a very good battleship. Very light on its armor. Does have 15.1-inch guns, and it has a lot of them. 15 of them? That's a little crazy. And then a bunch of single turrets for 6.3s, and then the 5.1s in there, those are too close of calibers. That feels really stupid to me. But yeah, it should take a beating. It'll probably get smashed by us, but we'll actually see if the enemy engages us. We have a fleet that it should be really good at taking on all these stupid destroyers and light cruisers and all of that. I imagine their fleet's actually low on fuel too. And that would make sense. This would make sense that this fleet would be low on fuel because they're halfway across the world, not the Italians in the Mediterranean where they're right next door, even if that's, you know, a traditional Italian thing to do is be out of fuel. But let's dive right on into this battle. Alright, here we are with our beautiful ships. Just going to have the battle cruiser join up with these ships. So let's see, that is just trying to figure out which ships are 2.5, 32. Those are only 19,000 ton ones. 12, 19,000. Okay. Wish it would detach and put it with them. And then over here, detach and put it with you. Okay. I don't need you guys scouting. I need you screening, torpedo avoidance, torpedo avoidance, normal screen, tight. I don't need a tight formation. Normal is good over here. And here we go. Let's go times 10. And let's see if the enemy is retreating. I can hear our ships just crashing into each other. That is a disgustingly ugly ship and is old. Oof. This is going to be a massacre. Okay. Well, that's, so how far away are they? They should be nearing range soon. Remember, we do have radar. And, oh my, what a beautiful view of our fleet. Alright, enough of that shenanigans. Let's see. Yeah, they are... See, there's a hit already. Just as a reminder, we swapped over to super heavy shells with standard... I think it was standard AP. So deck hits should be monstrous, and we're actually getting a little bit too close. See, 37,000 on a deck hit. So these shells should be big. We actually got a little too close to the enemy there. We want plunging fire, and this is starting to not be plunging fire, but this is just shooting fish in a barrel. This is disgusting. And there goes our giant amount of cruisers too. And I see 11.1 inch hits, I see 4.1, 15 inch hits. So basically everything is hitting. 9 inch hits, 9 inches from our Wolfsburg. Let's chuck some smoke out from those guys. I don't like how grouped up they are though. I really wish they would spread out more. Jeez. That has some devastating volleys. Yeah, we don't need to move in. Just let our ships that are screening properly screen out torpedoes. We are too close with our battleships and battlecruisers, but the torpedoes look like they are going for our screen. That was a bad hit on something back there. One of our destroyers took a torpedo hit, but thankfully it was a dud. Somebody took an ammo hit, and I think it was a destroyer. But yeah, 15,000. These shells do so much more damage than those light shells. I'd really like to make light shells work, and once upon a time I found an article on how to make them work, and it was like low arc, super high muzzle velocity, the AP cat ballistic 2, and it just doesn't seem like the game likes that. I mean, just look how much damage these shells are doing. These ships are just disappearing. Oh, they still have their battleship. We haven't even touched... Well, I say that. The New Mexico class was fairly untouched. Just took a flash fire. Yeah, its front turret is gone. Its admiral's gone. Its engine's gone. I mean, it's going to be gone. Why did my battleship stop firing at it? Where are those torpedoes going? Man, come on, guys. Figure out how to dodge torpedoes. They are on torpedo evasion, and I mean, that was 0 torpedo evasion on their part. That was really, really ugly. 5,600. Please dodge this torpedo. Okay, we're going to end the battle before I see my ships not dodge torpedoes. So that was pretty disgusting. Main gun accuracy. So still not great main gun accuracy, but keep in mind we were further away, and it just felt like the hits that we were inflicting caused devastating damage. I mean, the Prince Regent Luitpold, that sounds rather French. 62,000 damage. Yeah, monstrous damage across the board. Even our heavy cruiser, like this guy, some major hits, and that's a Wolfsburg with 9-inch guns. That's not even one of the 11-inch guns. Usually my cruisers don't do anything in these big brawls, so I really like to see that. The battle cruiser actually didn't do much, which is interesting. I say didn't do much, still in the thousands, so really like that. That was great. Good job, Germany. Yay! And as all wars go, as soon as they get their butts kicked, they sue for peace. Now, I'm actually going to agree to this, and the only reason is because Italy and Austro-Hungary? Oh, Jesus, I can't speak right now. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, they are nearly at war with us, so we can go straight into war with those guys. I don't want to go across the entire ocean to face the United States, but there should be one more battle coming up based off of what I saw in the top left, and that would be really nice, although looks like that battle went away. Oh man, there was 2 meeting engagements that showed up. I wonder if that fleet survived. So that's a shame, and I don't see another US fleet around here, and I don't really feel like going all the way over to Portland, Maine to fight them. I am perfectly fine going into, like France, Spain, Italy, and Austria-Hungary and fighting them in England, but for some reason they like us. So yeah, I mean, well, that was, fun while it lasted. At least the other nice thing about the super heavy shells with the standard AP fuse is that battle was quick. None of these like 30-minute long battles where I'm just struggling to kill the final ship. That was quick and dirty. So let's go on to the next turn and see what happens. Actually, can I anger anybody? Yeah, can I anger the Italian Empire? That would be perfect. So the Italians, I don't want to be at war with the Chinese, and the Hungarians. That's who I want to go to war with. And then, of course, France and England eventually, and then the Soviet Union once again. So that is our plan. We will poke the bear. Well, negotiations failed between Germany and the United States. I don't really have a feeling either way. And yay, -7 relations to, well, I don't want it with China, but the other 2 I do. And then William Pratt is suddenly replaced by Ernest Pratt. What a bunch of Pratts! Recent failures and overall poor management must have been the cause. And then just a bunch of, -5 naval prestige. Oh no, my 1,496.6 naval prestige. And people are starting to provoke us. This is great. I'm at the point where I want to go to war with everybody around me. I don't want to go across the entire world, but everybody around me. Your land is for the fatherland. We'll just put it that way. As far as, so some ships are repairing. We'll just let those ships repair. Everything looks to be repairing in a month or 2. The one that took the torpedo hit is 2 months, and then we'll divvy out some ships as far as research goes. Naval communications, radar surveillance. No, I want larger fleets, not radar surveillance. Hull construction, this is a good one for when we build our next battleship type, and then I wonder if big guns we could go into that. Yeah, dropping that is fine. Yep, okay. I'll see you when something interesting happens. A little poking and prodding from the Admiral himself. Looks like we're going to war with the Italian Empire. And then... oh, I don't want to be friends with the Soviet... oh no, I don't want plus relations with all of you. I don't want negative relations. I don't want friends. They don't understand this. We are winning. The United States government desperately asks us to sign a peace treaty. Yeah, that's fine. War erupted between Germany and Italy. As one war ends, another begins. And this I feel good about. And then fully welded hull. This will help me construct newer, bigger, better battleships. 11-inch Mark V guns. That's good for when we refit our ships. We have a lot of ships with 11-inch guns. 11.1 to be exact. More naval communications. That's not quite what I wanted. Oh, and the government doesn't like that I provoked this war. But, you know, too bad. There we have it. Nice and quick war between Germany and the United States. I don't want Guantanamo. Yeah, we'll just take the money. Nothing exciting there. I don't want to go to war with China. I have so much money. I will do this because I really don't want to go to war with China. Like we can't get over there. Our ships are not designed to go over there. So that's interesting that our ships didn't make it very far out of port. I had a bunch of fleets move out, so I guess we'll see where they eventually go. These guys should be going 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, they just like popped out of port and nothing else. That's it's not a good sign. Hopefully that's not because my destroyers have really terrible range. But then these guys wouldn't have made it that far. But anyways, this it's about time to end this episode. Hopefully there'll be a bunch of battles in the next episode. It's amazing now there are tons of, well, I say tons, it's just single American ships floating around. Wow, there's actually quite a few. That's interesting. I wonder if they have a port somewhere that I can't see. Doesn't look like it. So I don't know. Maybe they just have built all of their ships to go really, really far. Anyways, we will end the episode here. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. All that YouTube jazz really helps out the channel. Appreciate all of you. And as always, until next time.